on?
Yeah, of course it is. You want me started again?
No, that's fine. So I'm a respiratory therapy student from Southeast Community College, and my name is Claudia Lewis. So I'm here to go over some oxygen stuff with y'all. And we have an oxygen cylinder here. It is green. Green is always oxygen in the United States. I have a flow meter, or a regulator, I'm sorry, to attach to that. This is an E cylinder. I know it's oxygen because it says oxygen on it. It is also green, or mostly green, except where it's been chipped off. There's the company. Up here's the DOT numbers with the stars saying that it can be inspected more than every 10 years. There's the various dates it's been inspected, serial numbers, all that good stuff. So all oxygen tanks should be kept upright and secure. This is mostly secure. If it's a larger tank, it should be either in a cart like that or secured to a wall or in a cage. So we have, it's got a pressure release valve in case it gets too hot. Should never pick it up by the neck because you could break it. That'd be bad, really bad. You could have massive leaks if you do that. This is actually threaded down in here. This is gas under pressure. If it doesn't get hot enough, it will turn into a missile or explode. This does not, by itself, it's not flammable, but it will add to a fire or could possibly spontaneously combust with like an open flame, like someone smoking, or a spark like static electricity, or it can spontaneously combust with petroleum products such as Vaseline. So like if the patient has a cannula, puts it in their nose, it's a really bad thing. They won't have any nose hair left. So there's the pressure reducing valve, or the pressure release valve is right there. So here's a regulator to attach to that. It's got the pen system. Okay. It's got the pen system. It's got the O-ring here and the gauge. And then this one only flows up to 8 liters per minute. Maximum pressure on this one is 2,600 psi. This is an E-tank. So before you attach this, you always want to bleed the tank. It's going to be noisy, and I've got that pointing that way. Just enough to get any kind of dirt or debris out, because medical gases should always be free of air, or I mean of dirt and particulates. So the pins will match up to the 2 little holes over here, and then the O-ring should match in there. And if it doesn't, it'll be kind of weird or wonky, and then the screw will fit in a little divot on the neck. And we'll turn it on. I don't hear any leaks at all. We're reading about 1,200 psi. I don't know if you can see it. The green mark up there is full, which for this one is 2,000. Most tanks are filled to about 2,200. Red is 0, and it says refill on there. I don't know if you can hear that very well. Including that changes nothing. No matter what my pressure is. So I'm gonna turn that down. So let's say I needed to know how long this was going to last a patient. So we're at about 1,200. So on the paper. So 1,200 times 0.28, which is the cylinder factor for this, for an E cylinder, which is labeled, gives me 336. Divide that by 2, and for 2 liters a minute. Let's just say the patient was on 2 liters a minute. That's a pretty common. It would be 168 minutes, so like not quite 3 hours, 2.8 hours. Most manufacturers recommend changing out the tank between 300 and 500 psi. Probably depends on the situation and manufacturer's recommendations. So before I take this off, I will want to turn off the tank by going left. And bleed that out until the little gauge goes back to red. Ring's still there. Sometimes they will stick to the side of the tank, which is unfortunate because then they fall off. Here I have a flow meter. It's labeled oxygen. It is also green for oxygen. There's yellow for medical air. That's pretty much just room air. It's not. It's also for particulates or anything like that. But there's no way with the safety system for me to plug this into here. The pins don't match up. These are straight up and down, and this one's got one up kind of off to the side. So let's see when we get to do it. When I plug it in, the little float should jump. It did. And then it went back to normal. So this one has a dial, so I can make this come out of 2 different places. So like if I needed to have a vent, I could thread that here. Another oxygen delivery device would be here. Turn this until the float goes up. I don't think y'all can hear that. Let's turn that up. So there's 10. So if I include it, ball drops. So it is compensated. Turn that off. And to take it off, I would just turn here. I take that off. Some issues with oxygen are the fact that it is flammable. If it is a system like this is an H system in series. There's like 6 or 8 tanks, I can't remember, they did show it to me. So it's not liquefied. But there are shutoffs in the hallways to be able to shut it off to certain patients' rooms if there was some kind of a leak, some kind of maintenance, some other kind of issue, like maybe a fire, you want to shut off a wing, you can do that. Here, according to the Director of Respiratory Therapy, that is maintenance or the police department's job. So this is also called a Thorpe tube. Most people just call it a flow meter. Some of the older ones, you had to have a green Christmas tree is what we used to call it, and just thread that on there. I think that's it.